the commencement of the second phase of our program. On this leg, we shall begin to immediately bring down the price of fertilizer from 3,500 to 2,500 per 50 kilogram bag. And I'm told that 34,000 bags of subsidized fertilizer was sold to our farmers, a record in a long time, meaning that the farmers know the importance of subsidized fertilizer. And this is for the short rains now that is going to begin next month all the way to December.
The head of state further explained why the price of sugar has doubled in the past few weeks, adding that the rise has been occasioned by confusion and fights within the sugar subsector. He said despite these, the government is working as hard to streamline things in the sectors through consultations with the relevant bodies.
We have had serious consultations. The minister, AFA, has been on top of that game. It is true the prices have gone up. We have been reluctant to work against farmers by opening importation. But finally, we have given licenses for the importation of sugar into the country. And I want to announce that in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we will see different situation pertaining, because that's the time we expect stocks of sugar to come into the country.
Mediation talks between the government and the opposition continue to face numerous hurdles. These coming after the bipartisan talks hit a dead end. Despite both sides selecting their members who will participate in the negotiations, hardline positions are being taken by both sides even before the start of the talks. Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah from the Kenya Kwanza side continues to accuse Azimio leader Raila Odinga of revealing the name of former President of Nigeria Olusegun Obasanjo as the mediator, claiming that it is against the consensus and the agreement that he should not have been revealed. In addition, differences emerged on the issues to be discussed by both sides. Kenya Kwanza insists that the committee will discuss the creation of IEBC, the implementation of the two-thirds gender rule, the creation of the office of the leader of opposition, as well as that of the prime cabinet secretary. Meanwhile, Azimio, on the other hand, insists on highlighting the cost of living, reviewing the results of last year's general election, reforming and reconstituting the IEBC, holding accountable the police officers who killed the protesters, and respecting the freedom of political parties. This while President William Ruto refused to discuss the issue of mediation talks during a session with journalists, focusing his answers on issues related to food and the cost of living.
And your second question?
My second question, Your Excellency, is ahead of the anticipated talks between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio.
Please, let's not go there. So let's stick with the first question.
Now, members of Kenya Kwanza include Majority Leader Arun Cheruiyot of the Senate, Embu Governor, as well as UDA Chairperson Cecily Mbarire, Member of Parliament of East Africa, that is Iyala Hassan Omar, and Bungoma woman Representative Catherine Wambilianga, while those on the Azimio are led by Wipers Leader Kalonzo Musyoka, Leader of DAP-K Eugene Wamalwa, National Assembly Minority Leader Opiyo Ndai, Malindi Member of Parliament Amina Mnyazi, as well as Nyamira Senator Okoh Omogeni. And a court has blocked President William Ruto from lifting a near 6-year ban on logging, according to the petitioners in a win for conservationists. The Environment and Land Court ordered a 14-day stay on President William Ruto's contentious repeal of a logging moratorium introduced in 2018 to curb the rapid disappearance of forest. When lifting the ban in July, Ruto said it was foolishness to let mature trees rot while sawmills were importing timber, and that the move will create jobs. The Law Society of Kenya challenged the decision in court, saying the government had not made the scientific case for lifting the ban or adequately consulted the community about its impact. The court granted the Law Society's application, staying the implementation of the policy directive. The legal advocacy organization said this. Now, in its ruling dated August 1st, the court also issued orders stopping the issuance of logging licenses by the state. The matter will be heard in court on the 14th of August. And the cholera case load in the country stands at 11,181 with 196 fatalities in 26 counties. Ministry of Health official Emmanuel Lukunga says this. I'm Dennis Aseto. Good morning.
102.5 Spice FM, Kisumu.
The following takes place from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday on Spice FM.
Congratulations. You've seen the hand of the Lord.
Thank you very much. I've earned another title today this morning at Spice FM. Mama Justice, I don't mind it.
Joel in Kericho.
Salama sana Heri, habari ya asubuhi.
Salama bwana, mambo namna gani?
Salama kabisa bro.
Mambo ya Aina Moi kuliendaje?
Mambo ya Aina Moi, vile nilikwambia ndugu yangu, alienda asubuhi na ile gari ya kwanza.
I must have missed it.
So did I.
Even if somebody was to render you irrelevant, there is still work you can do.
Okay, sawa.
I deserve to keep you accountable. You deserve to give me a report. You don't work for me. No, I don't work for you. You work for me.
Do you like that Freudian slip? Lovely, isn't it? Thank you very much.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Revenge is for children. It's for kids. When you grow up, you realize the best revenge you can take on somebody is to ignore them.
Now I'm just new in politics. It is not everybody's cup of tea. That's why some people come in one term and that's it for them.
Political parties in this country do not have ideologies, whether luring or otherwise.
And that is the effect of corruption.
Any time an offense occurs anywhere in the country, it is the job of the Inspector General to look into it. Whether it's corruption, whether it's murder, whether it's petty, that is his job.
If we have chosen to be a corrupt nation, then we produce corrupt leaders. Everything then becomes chaotic that you cannot be able to change a nation.
The Situation.
If you go out of this country and come back the same person, then you have a problem. Buy land, 1 million. Put it there for 5 years. What's the purpose?
It'll have increased in value.
No, that's the thing. That's darkness. That's an eclipse. You don't do that.
I hope you don't believe that a hustler is a poor person or that all hustlers are poor. I've seen that conversation.
Tell us, who is a hustler?
Who's a hustler? Hustler is a person who is making a living through hard work.
Corruption in Kenya is a political accusation. The people who are actually corrupt are not pointed fingers at.
Kenya is not free. Kenya imeshikwa na mateka. It's under siege.
Have you seen that lodge on Nyeri Road? Very high fence. You can't even
Windows
sleep inside.
up near the ceiling.
Yes. And if you walk there at midnight, you see bats the size of cows.
And when it rains, it doesn't rain on that building.
Yes.
When you're at All Saints and it's raining, it doesn't rain on that building.
The things people will believe.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Good morning and welcome to Thursday. A little bit of traffic starting to build up in several parts of the city, but it looks like Thursday might just be an all right day. Right. A little bit of traffic on Uhuru Highway. Not quite sure what's causing that as you come towards the junction of Nyayo Stadium. And then you get to the junction of Haile Selassie, a little bit moving here and there. Jogoo Road, as usual, is busy. Let's look at what's happening on the Thika Superhighway. A little bit of traffic building up as you get towards the Pangani underpass. But I think we'll do it without too much of an issue, at least before we get to traffic hour. Thursday is a good day to have a good day, isn't it? Talk to us on Spice FM KE on Twitter. And let's keep things moving this morning.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Good morning. How are you? Welcome to Thursday. Hiya. It's already Thursday. Ndu?
Yeah.
Don't put on your specs today.
Sorry?
Don't put on your specs today. Ka vivo hivyo ulivyo hivi sasa.
Najaribu ku calm down.
Leo usivae madigaga.
Madigaga is what now?
Hiso vitu. Hiso vitu. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good morning.
First beat by hashtag who?
Ifoma.
Herself.
Selufu.
The princess.
Ifoma, the beautiful one. If you don't celebrate yourself, who celebrates you, I beg?
We will.
You will, eh? That's why I like you.
Cities, you know you.
I'm trying to cool down.
By the way, that was his
she has to use some burnt orange here like this. She has some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nile, come here, look here. It's very good here also.
Ednah, make sure you zoom in.
Vizuri.
So people can see.
People are making me blush. Stop
Waone
it.
princess.
Hey. And it's only Thursday. Na kesho J.
What will be happening by tomorrow?
Hey. Na kesho J. So what do you call that?
What?
All that thing that you've done.
Which one? I just rub powder.
Mix up.
It's just powder.
Nothing much.
Just powder.
It's just powder. Well.
Najua, this is the good thing about kuwa na kina dada kwa sababu wanaturevuisha na wanatuelimisha. Because wewe mwanaume, if you're told to procure such a procedure, you'll go and buy Vaseline and smear it on your face.
Did you say procure a procedure? Oh, CT, you're not so right.
Hey.
You'll be gleaming. You'll be a perfect reflector. With our dark hue. When you add a little sheen to it.
Your face starts having a mirage.
You are a mirage.
Your face sees itself.
Mko sawa lakini?
Kabisa.
Everybody, good morning. Welcome to Thursday. This Justice Thursday. We are going to have some Justice Thursday conversation. We will talk about the Environment and Land Court. Okay? Now, we will be joined by a judge from this court, the head of the Land Division in the Environment and Land Court. So, there's a head of Land Division and there's a head of Environment Division in the Environment and Land Court. So, the land side is headed by the Honorable Justice Lucy Mbogwa. She joins us at 7 a.m. to talk about Mambo Siamba. Okay? Kesi yote ya Siamba. And then at 8, no, let me go to 9. 9, we will come back to talking about land governance in Kenya, and we'll be joined by two people, Samuel Komu, who is a project officer at Transparency International, and Anthony Njenga, who is a civic educator and a paralegal. Both those two will be here again to talk about Leonie Mashamba stories at 8 a.m. from Hell's Gate Bike Festival, and how this will address various environmental challenges. Now, we'll not be talking about land, we'll be talking about environment. Today is Environment and Land Day.
Okay.
Are you there with me now?
Mambo
mengia?
Yes.
Mambo mengia? It's not just Justice Thursday, it's Environment and Land Thursday. Yes. Jeremiah Njanja is the team leader at the Hell's Gate Biking Fest and founder of the Whistle Africa Tours and Events. He'll be here at 8 a.m. We will have that conversation about the Hell's Gate Bike Festival. Have you been to Hell's Gate?
I've been to Hell's Gate. Wait a minute. I can't remember.
It's in Naivasha.
I know.
Have you hiked the rocks?
I remember what I was doing there. I've been to Hell's Gate. Let's just leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa. Sawa. If you've been to Hell's Gate, that's good enough. Let's leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Are we live streaming?
We are.
Why is this thing off?
Ednah is doing some magic.
Ednah magician.
Oh, VP. Tower.
Ednah is called Ombaso. And then you talk about her doing magic. My friend.
I should stop it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, please.
Why? Ednah huyu anakuchomea asubuhi. It's 6:15. We are live streaming the show on YouTube and Facebook. Spice FM KE on Facebook. Spice FM is our YouTube channel. Please, if you're online, let us know where you're tuned in from. Ndu is going to tell us the weather forecast shortly, and then we'll look at who's online.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
In Nairobi this morning, we're looking at cloudy conditions currently at 14 degrees, highs of 20 and lows of 14 today. Looking into Nakuru, 16 degrees and cloudy, highs of 23 and lows of 14. We'll see lows of 13 in a mostly cloudy. Nyeri at 14, and it's 14 and cloudy in Eldoret, highs of 21 and lows of 13. It's cloudy at 23 in Mombasa, highs of 26, and we'll see highs of 27 in a partly cloudy Malindi at 24. It's 19 and cloudy in Kisumu, highs of 28, and we'll see highs of 25 in Kakamega, where it's cloudy at 17, 18 and cloudy in Kampala, highs of 25, and going into Dar es Salaam, highs of 29, where it's mostly cloudy at 23. It's 4 degrees and cloudy in Johannesburg, highs of 15 and lows of 2, and 25 will be the low in a cloudy Lagos, currently at 25. It's 21 and clear in Kinshasa, highs of 32 today. Into Thursday afternoon, Beijing is mostly cloudy at 30, highs of 33, and Paris is cloudy at 16 with highs of 18 and lows of 14. It's cloudy at 17 in London, highs of 21 and lows of 14, and clear skies in New York Wednesday night at 21. Coming into Thursday, we'll see highs of 27 and lows of 17.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
And says, Edwin, tuned in to the fine spicy morning. I can't wait for the show. We are here. Gladys Waivaka says good morning. Good morning, Spice. Ndu. Uliza Ednah, vile wakisi ni jealous. Huh? All right, Ednah, I think this needs a coffee or something so you can tell us this story.
Don't jealous me.
Don't jealous me. Why are you jealousing me? James Mukabana says, good morning, Eric Ndu and CT, tuned in from Udhiru and looking forward to today's conversation. Mabio Panchol says, good morning, Spice FM, tuned in from Saskatchewan in Canada. CT says Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Well done. Say Pennsylvania. Yeah, good roll this morning.
Please.
I should continue?
Yes.
Okay. Say Phuket.
Phuket. Is it Phuket?
It is. The H is silent.
There was
Thailand.
There was a British Airways ad billboard, right, saying that they usually fly to Thailand.
Yeah.
So this summer, say Phuket. We're going to just say I'm going to Thailand.
That's where Kikombe is tuned in this morning and says hello. Louis Angira says Boucher. I'm assuming that means good morning. I hear it all the time. Agnes Akinyi says good morning to Eric and CT. Good morning. Good morning. Charlie salute to all of you. The 2000. You told me your name is Joe. Now you're saying your name is Charlie.
Charlie Joe.
You think I don't remember these things? I remember.
Can be both.
So are you Charlie Joe? Charles Joseph?
His name is 2000. Now that you refused that his name can be 2000, he's going to give you all the other names that you want. Next, what do you want? John?
No.
Henry?
Did you know that James
Peter?
is a form of Jacob? Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Mashari and Jeru says, good morning, Eric, CT and Ndu, watching from Portland in Oregon. Carol Nyambura says, another beautiful day. Now, Apenda Sana. Agnes Akinyi believes I look better without my glasses. Okay, let's see about looking for those contact lenses where they've been hidden. Agnes is on the money.
Remove the glasses.
I'll remove them just now.
Come on.
James Lubega is tuned in from Copenhagen, and James Sekento is tuned in from Kerala Pond. Good morning, the beautiful Ndu. Thank you very much. And the other two wise gentlemen tuned in from Doha. Kama kawaida leo wote mtoe miwani. Haya.
Sawa.
It's all sugar and spice here in Houston City. Good morning, everybody. Tuned in as well. Quite a number of people online. Jimmy Wekesa, Paul, Dr. Tony Kamano. Good morning.
Federal Republic of Somalia. Right. It's Proverbs. Women look for a lost camel in their bosom.
What?
That's a
I have
good
many
one.
questions.
That's a good
Okay.
one. Women look for a lost camel in their bosom. And not the legs of a camel. It's just the camel itself.
This guy.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all.
What would that mean? What on earth would this be? Okay. This one.
They will leave no stone unturned. That's what it means.
They will leave no stone unturned.
Yes.
They will find a way.
Even in the place that it's most unlikely to find them, they will look for it.
And that could be a solution. It could be an actual thing, but they'll
Yes.
find a solution.
Yes.
They will look for it.
Yes,
get it.
and it also tells you that women are given to immense details. Yes, they will not leave anything to chance.
Women don't know where the camels are. We do.
If it is lost, that's what it means. You don't know where it is.
Usually it usually means that.
Looking in the wrong places, man. Okay. Headlines?
Headlines. On the front page of the Standard, round 2 talks fly into headwinds already. Hello? After the first round of bipartisan talks between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja failed spectacularly at its infancy, a fresh push for dialogue has started in an environment of fear and thinly veiled hostility among rival parties, even as Kenya Kwanza released its list of negotiators. We'll look at the details of that. Blow to state as court freezes logging order. All of you who've been into the forest, get out.
Ati?
Yeah. Court says this thing that you've all now driven your trucks into the forest to start logging because of the lift of the ban, get out.
Okay.
Until we talk about it some more.
Okay.
Maize, Kenya is on track to meet demand. And why banks are KRA's cash cow. Worldcoin operations suspended. We saw this come from the Ministry of Interior yesterday, where CS Kindiki said, oh, hold on. Just stop it first. Let's have a chat about what's happening. People are scanning what? Stop it.
Okay.
Okay?
How many days later?
4 days later. Revealed big loans burden for graduates, and that's the details of that coming up. It's also about the talks on the front page of the Daily Nation. Make or break crisis talks. 2 sticky issues. Soaring commodity prices, opposition lists addressing the problem, their key demand, and 2022 poll audit, government rejects scrutiny of election servers, saying, guess what? The poll is settled. The state has banned Worldcoin operations. That, of course, is a story it's making it, and we're also looking at the logging story on the Nation as well.
Okay.
Safaricom ordered to pay former call center staff 2.5 million shillings for crippling voice loss. Hello? Education, again, MPs to have the final say on education reforms. Members of Parliament will decide the fate of many of the recommended changes to the education system that must be anchored in law. So that's very nice that all of you have said these things. Is it in the law? If it's not in the law, sorry. Are we going to change the law in order to accommodate some of these recommendations? Well, it's a wait and see kind of thing.
Okay.
Sour. That's what it looks like.
Business Daily. Global supply shocks fuel new food crisis in Kenya. Global supply shocks have increased the prices of Kenya's critical staples, including rice, wheat, maize, sugar, and onions, fomenting a new food crisis in the country. Protectionist decisions in India and Eastern Europe to lock stocks of food within their borders are likely to disrupt the supply of rice and wheat into Kenya, even as poor weather hinders supply of onions from neighboring Tanzania. Wheat prices are also likely to come under pressure after Russia, which is at war with Ukraine, recently pulled out of an agreement which allowed the export of Ukrainian agricultural goods via a safe channel through the Black Sea. Russia also destroyed critical storage infrastructure in Ukraine. So we are looking at Ukraine. What's coming from Ukraine? Wheat, collapse of Black Sea safe passage, deal with Russia. Russia bombs grain storage. Tanzania, rice, maize, vitunguu, imposes stricter export permit controls. That is Tanzania. India bans exports to protect local market. These are the exports of rice and sugar. Russia hit by US and EU sanctions, where we're getting our wheat and fertilizer from. South Africa, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina. Maize imports outside COMESA markets flop on limited global supplies. We depend on all these for our food. All those have issues, and we are going to eat higher. Another headline here, there's a dispute. Trustees of a premium golf club in central Kenya have moved to court seeking to compel plantation firm Kakuzi to remove its cows from their property, saying the livestock are destroying greens and fairways and making the course unplayable. Can you imagine the nerve through bringing your cows here? In a case filed at the Environment and Land Court, the trustees of the Mokoyo Golf Club in Murang'a County also want 10 directors of Kakuzi jailed for letting the cows trespass on the golf course against a court order issued in September 2019. The golf club officials, led by Joel Wanyoike, Irongo Nirango, SK Kirubi, want the Kakuzi directors, including Christopher John Flowers, Andrew Ndego Njoroge, Keta Shah, and Graham Harold McLean, jailed for disobeying this judgment.
You know, forgive me, but this one I have to say.
You have to jump in.
I have to say. Did the cows know that this order had been given?
Had the cows been served?
You can serve those guys you're talking about. The cows don't know. Then they just go green grass, and they can see.
And they can see.
Yeah?
And they have legs that are still working.
Surely.
No.
Just across the bridge. Higher, ticker headlines, how the state plans to stop dirty cash movements through Kenya. Centum exposure falls 1 billion in Coca-Cola deal, and dollar holders are recording large gains as the shilling slides. City.
Star. Top right-hand corner in teal green. Mediation dialogue. False start for Ruto Raila talks as Kenya Kwanza unveils team. We in the media sometimes also.
To false start. What is the Standard saying?
The Standard said it's
headwinds.
Headwinds. Nation said make or break crisis talk. None of these things are true. These are not make or break talks.
Make or break what?
Nah. There's even the talks are not about a crisis.
Yeah, the cost of living crisis.
Yes. Anyway, that story is on page 6.
Okay.
Then, how radical bias pushed Maina Macharia, a trade unionist, to join Mau Mau. This is a story, the diaries of a freedom fighter. That's on page 14 and 15. Children vaccination, deaths plummet in Kibera as pneumonia vaccine delivers wonders. Meaning,
oh wow,
yeah, deaths have gone down. Pneumonia vaccines work.
They do, and it's very interesting that. It's very interesting that pneumonia, because you often find that pneumonia will then be prevalent in places where, first of all, you catch the cold, the virus gets in there, but in cramped spaces, then it has much more propensity to remain.
Yes.
Reinfections can occur, long-term pneumonia.
It will be prevalent, meaning it's found a safe haven,
and it's
chills.
Poor ventilation, all of those things.
Yes, cramped
spaces.
Precisely.
Then to find that a vaccine is actually coming in and essentially eradicating that, I think is huge.
You see, the cramped spaces haven't changed much, but the protection has.
Yeah.
So the child is very unlikely now, because of the protection. That's what the vaccine does.
Yeah.
To actually contract pneumonia. Now, it's a big, wonderful thing.
It is.
Okay? Kindiki lays out plan to combat terror. That's the headline, Kabisa.
Okay.
Attacks intensify, CS team to deploy elite police in terror-prone areas. Okay, that's the story, headline. Then, lobbies win big in data protection as state blocks Worldcoin.
Okay.
Yes, we all said, blocked after how long? Who who is behind Worldcoin? Forget this. You Sam Altman. Forget. How did
Who's
this,
the Kenyan?
Yes.
Who's the Kenyan?
Who's the Kenyan behind this?
And where did he get this money to dish out to people like this?
And then how did he tell people that it was going to happen?
How did he spread this word?
WhatsApp blast?
Because those queues.
Ridiculous. People were coming out from outside of the county.
Yes.
Traveling.
My friend, the amount of money being offered.
Crazy.
How many people do we have in this country who do not have even an idea of where they're going to get a coin?
Let me tell you. Let's talk about that. Because
right after we come back,
you see, Kindiki is talking about terror.
Okay.
And he was acting yesterday on this Worldcoin thing.
Okay.
All right. 29 minutes to 7. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to look at traffic. And then we will look at the headlines in detail.
All right, how have things progressed? Right, 6:30 on the nose. Traffic on Jogo Road still continues as you're getting out towards Landis. Landis is free and clear in both directions. We'll see some traffic then getting onto Haile Selassie, and there's incoming traffic from Gong Road, but this is all pretty manageable for now. On the Thika Superhighway, there's traffic just past Survey heading out towards the Pangani underpass. It looks all right on the northern bypass for now, not so much in terms of movement. So then Kiambu Road is fine, Limuru Road is okay, Kitisuru, Ruaka, everywhere flowing free, at least for now. It looks like it might just be a manageable Thursday. What's happening on this other side of things? Coming off Magadi Road, getting out towards Langata Road, it's also running free and clear, no problems for now. Jogo Road is what has the busiest movement for now, and we'll see how that opens up closer to 7 o'clock. Spice FMKE on Twitter, talk to us there and let's keep things moving this Thursday.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings.
Okay, so let's quickly do that talk story.
Okay,
because,
real quick. CS Kindiki suspends controversial Worldcoin amid probe on others. All right? So for 4 days, 1, 2, 3, 4. This started Sunday, Monday. All right? And people were lining up in Nairobi at the KICC to get some money. After you have your iris scanned. Iris is this one, in the eye.
It's in the eye.
Yes. The government has now suspended operations of the cryptocurrency company Worldcoin in Kenya. It raised concern over the world crypto firm involved in a controversial digital recruitment. In a statement Wednesday, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki said that they had halted activities of Worldcoin and warned against similar operations even as the government commences investigations on the same. Relevant security, financial services and data protection agencies have commenced inquiries and investigations to establish authenticity and legality of the aforesaid activities. This comes amid public uproar over breach of citizens' data safety concerns. Questions emerged over the mandate of the Office of the Data Protection Commission to protect Kenyans' private information. Harrison Kinyanjui, you know him, condemned the government over what he termed as negligence in protecting its citizens' information. Kinyanjui said the exercise is an exploitative one that would not be allowed to continue without proper government advisory. He says, why is our government allowing this to go on? What is the Office of the Data Protection Commission doing? Just saying we have issued a communication. A communication is not protecting its people. All right, so this is all in line. On the fourth day running, which was yesterday, the recruitment has seen people flock to Kenyatta International Convention Center since Sunday, seeking to benefit from a token the company offers upon registration. What seemed more sinister was that the company had their customers' iris scanned through an orb scanner to be registered to benefit. They claimed it was a verification criteria to discern real human beings from robots. Okay?
Right.
So even if this individual is standing before you, we do not know if you are a robot or if you are human. So that's the only way we can tell.
So it's just a verification?
Yes.
Not collection?
Not collection. It's verification
what
of your humanity.
What are they verifying, really?
That you're a human.
Okay.
Okay. So they've claimed that it was to discern real human beings. Kenyans who had thronged to KICC to benefit did not mind the safety of their personal information, but were largely interested in pocketing the money. According to the company, one would be awarded 25 points they refer to as airdrops that the beneficiary would then trade with a forex trader for 7,000 shillings. Kithure has issued an assurance to hold the company liable should the government detect any breach of data security in their operations. He went on to say it will be critical that assurances of public safety and that the integrity of the financial transactions involved such a large number of citizens be satisfactorily provided upfront. Now, the question is, how did these guys just begin operations out of the blue? Right? Sunday, we just started seeing all this movement. People are lining up, and then folks are actually saying, yes, my iris was scanned. I'm given a code, and I can go and cash in. And people were actually getting the money. Right? So, of course, word spread like wildfire. By Monday, the queues were ridiculous. People were coming in from different parts of the country, scanning their iris, money inside. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then the government says, wait a minute, this is KICC.
Stop.
It is not some cave somewhere.
Imagine.
In whatever. This is KICC in the middle of the city. And there are crowds like this. On Sunday, nobody, okay, so Sunday was the weekend, sour. Monday, a working day, everywhere, packed. Nobody asked a question. Tuesday, woke up in the morning, nobody asked a question. People were still receiving, and it spread like wildfire, literally. Wednesday, again, people woke up. From all and sundry came money, inside. And then Wednesday afternoon, Interior woke up and said, oh, what's happening? Okay, stop it. Until we investigate what's going on.
First of all, you don't walk into KICC and tell them, I have this orb that I want to use for scanning people's eyes. Can
I do it here?
Can you please give me space?
Thank you very much. KICC, you will do what? You will book a space. KICC, you will do what? You will seek permission to set up your operations there, and you will say, this is what I want to do.
They'll ask for all sorts of documentation. You don't just
and you will do what? You will pay for the space.
Yes, you will.
So when all these things were happening, who was responsible for the due diligence in terms of asking questions? What exactly are you doing? Who are you? What is that all about? And then it hits you like a pie in the face. Oh, it's Wednesday. Thousands of people have been scanning their irises and getting 7,000 more. Oh dear. Stop it. Really?
But we've been asking ourselves, how did Shakahola happen? Can you now see?
Lawyer Ongoya
Can
yesterday,
you see how Shakahola happened?
Yeah, he made that statement and he said, you know what? Here we are, people are just lining up and you're wondering what is going to happen, or not even what is going to happen, Eric. What has already happened by virtue of this whole scanning business? And you here, you're thinking it's a 7,000 shillings, that's the thing. No. Something else would be under the surface.
You just can't walk into it and just walk around and just walk as you see.
So there's several things that happened, all right? There's a company that's been registered in Kenya. Okay. There is a certificate that's been acquired from the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. Okay. There's some license that has been acquired. There's some communication. There's some leasing of space at KICC that's taken place. Okay. And then there is communication and mobilization of people. All these things are happening, and our DCI, our intelligence, are somewhere.
They're supposed to be there.
People start gathering on Monday, all right? Sunday. And the whole thing is that they're queuing to receive money after looking into an orb. Look into this strange thing and you receive money and then you go home. It happens on Monday, it happens on Tuesday, it happens on Wednesday. There was no... Are there radio ads?
Where?
Like, are there adverts already saying
come and
unataka elfu saba kuja Nairobi KICC? Are there such?
Did you see any print?
How was this mobilization done?
And it was effective.
Properly.
Completely effective.
It's very effective.
How do people leave their homes in various parts of the city and outside the city, come all the way to KICC and queue? How did it happen? So we ask ourselves that, how did Shakahola happen? This is how it happened. Yeah. There are people, it's just a breakdown in communication. There are people who must have looked at this, they wrote a report. Well, there are people who are coming to KICC, reports it somewhere, but one side is not communicating with the other side. The day before yesterday, on Tuesday, we saw the Nairobi Police County Commander coming to disrupt that thing and saying, okay, you guys are too many. There's a security issue here. You're too many. You're blocking roads. Please disperse. We shall deal with this issue.
And that was
later.
the size of it, yeah?
And he was coming there and saying, we have heard that there are people who are here, but you just come and told them, let's just go home because there's a security issue. Can you imagine if this orb thing was some
explosive?
Yeah.
Boss.
Or some recruitment in the name of looking to the eye.
But Eric, it is a recruitment.
Or into some nefarious terror thing. Imagine if it's a recruitment too, and your people are coming and they know what they're coming to do.
You know why I'm saying it's a recruitment? The moment you're checking data, essentially you can't establish data without collecting it.
Yeah, no, it's a recruitment in that sense, in terms of they're recruiting people into their platform.
Yes.
I'm saying, imagine if it was a recruitment into some terror activity.
Actually,
you have been recruited, you have come in, you've been given 7,000 shillings, you've been told go and wait for instructions. Or whatever.
And you'll wait.
Or sit here until tomorrow morning. We are going to do this and the other.
I was having this conversation yesterday with someone who is a conspiracy theorist of the highest possible order. And he was telling me about the sort of neuroscience that has gone into matters relating to the eye and how it can be used to even reprogram the brain. But as I said, this is someone who takes it to a completely different level. And they're saying that if you look at he reads such things, what the Israelis have done, what the Russians specifically have done, okay? It started with the Germans during the Second World War. Now, America is hush-hush about these things, but they also, psychotropic matters and determining how people respond to these things. And there is so much that one does not know. And there's so much that one can do with the data that one gathers when somebody stares into such an orb. Yes. So this is not a good thing. It doesn't matter how you look at it. And it's not a good thing because there's so much you don't know.
Absolutely. And you have to ask yourself the question. It cannot be that you come and scan your eye and somebody gives you money. What is the catch? What is the underlying thing?
People don't just give
you money just because they're feeling philanthropic. They don't do that. And not for scores and scores of people, thousands of people on a rolling basis. If this had not been stopped yesterday, we would still see queues at KICC this morning.
No, we'd be seeing bigger queues.
Bigger queues.
There are people who would be sleeping at KICC.
Exactly.
They're first in line.
And so that's the thing. People talk about, actually, you shouldn't be. What you should be concerned about is that the cost of living is so difficult, and that's why people will leave their homes. They don't even think about the consequences. They're ready to take 7,000 shillings. I said, okay, well, maybe that's an argument. But at the end of the day, here we are, and we're saying, you do not know who these people are. You do not know the origin of operation, but you're going and you're giving your information for 7,000.
That is the job of the government to protect its citizens.
Exactly.
If you can say the citizens are ignorant and you can even accept that they are, the government isn't.
No, they're not.
You cannot conduct such a business in this country and it's not known. It is simply not possible. Because there's not. What is clandestine is what we don't know. But that they were in plain sight. You could see what they were doing.
They were not hiding. They were not hiding.
Yes.
Serious questions need to be asked in this one. And serious answers need to be given. Serious ones. Higher. Make or break talks and all these other stories. Under pressure from the public to address the rising food prices, the president yesterday announced a further reduction of the cost of fertilizer to 2,500 for a 50-kilogram bag, explaining this, according to him, will motivate farmers to step up maize production in the coming short rains season. The government has also approved sugar imports to plug shortages and curb spiraling prices of the sweetener. Now, where they're going to get the sugar from, we don't know. They have not been able to get the maize, and we have just seen what is happening. Rice and sugar from India is not going to be possible because India has said no sugar leaves this area. Okay? Higher. After their face-to-face meeting, the president and the opposition leader Raila Odinga have named their respective negotiators, setting the stage for dialogue brokered by former Nigerian president, say the name?
Olusegun Obasanjo.
Olusegun Obasanjo. That one, to resolve the post-election crisis that degenerated into the Mandamanos. But now they are feuding on the agenda. Stick issues, soaring commodity prices, and the poll audit. Kenya Kwanza team has Kimani Ichung'wah, Governor Mbarire, Aaron Cheruiyot, Catherine Wambilianga and Hassan Omar. Azimio team has Kalonzo, Opiyo Wandayi, Amina Mnyazi, Eugene Omalo, and Okongo Mogeni. So these are the ones that are going to be sitting in these talks. Now, the issue here, though, is how are these talks going to go? And I see something happening. And you see this thing that they're calling at your cost, soaring commodity prices. Eventually, they'll agree, okay, so we've sat down and let's agree, okay, that thing of issue of cost of living, let's address it once and for all. And I see the outcome of that being the dialogue team has sat and agreed that the cost of living is really a big issue in this country.
And in that respect,
the committee, the dialogue team, was briefed by the government on what it has done to address the rising cost of living, which includes the subsidy on fertilizer. They have been briefed about the rain season, and we expect bumper harvest from the breadbasket of the country in coming weeks. We also expect that by the December short rains, there will be more subsidized fertilizer that will be given to the other lowland regions so that farmers can plant and we have a bumper harvest. Having said that, the government and the committee also acknowledged that there is indeed an emergency right now in terms of the rising food prices. So the government has agreed, the dialogue team will agree on this particular one. You know what they'll do? They'll agree to set aside some money, say 10, 15 billion shillings.
For some subsidy of some sort.
For unga subsidy. And then they'll contract some 2 or 3 maize millers. Right? And they'll also agree that those who are hardest hit are those who live in the slum areas of the urban slum areas, Nairobi and Mombasa probably. And so these maize millers will come up with maize for about 150 bob per 2 kg bag, which will be sold in these slum areas.
Probably even packaged specifically
for these areas. Okay? So those millers will be some miller based in Mombasa and some miller based in Nairobi. You will see how this talk goes. And that will be addressing the current issue. But this will not last for long because by November we expect that we'll have harvested the maize and it will be in the market. So this will run between now and November. 10 or 15 billion shillings. So your story. Sawa, let's move.
Next.
To our pesa. Now, let's talk about this issue. Who's getting what? I don't think Azimio people will be appointed into cabinet, but there will be that story of official leader of opposition. One of the Azimio leaders, maybe Kalonzo, will take that one. There will be appointments into ambassadorial posts and these parastatal heads, blah, 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 blah. Some Azimio leaders will get those ones here and there. Baba will get something here and there. And we'll have a conversation about how we work, bipartisan, and we'll reform and the team that is selecting IEBC panelists. We will constitute IEBC panelists afresh. We'll recruit a new IEBC. And on the matter of electoral reforms, the new IEBC will be told strictly,
categorically,
that they must bring proposals to Parliament for electoral reforms by 2027. And they'll work closely with the Parliamentary Committee on Constitution Implementation and the Legal and Justice Affairs Committee. That's what will happen and we'll move on. Sawa.
Ni sawa.
Watu watapata unga 150 kilo mtu packet moja iishe. Na tutakuwa tumelete cheo kadhaa. Now I don't know what will happen to Martha Karua. Yeah. Eugene and Kalonzo, you see they're in the dialogue team. They'll sort themselves out. Martha, civil society will have a conversation. A crystal ball tells me, Hapa, game imeiva.
Well, all right then.
I cannot disagree with what you're saying. I honestly cannot, because my view on this matter was I pronounced the other day. Na bado niko hapo tu. It is strange that at the time when we complained about being a command economy, single party state, the price of food was very well controlled. Despite all the problems we had, sometimes there were shortages every now and then, but people could actually afford to live. I like delving into history because sometimes it's easy to forget that the situation we're in was not always the case. And it also makes me understand that it doesn't have to continue being the case. But I do not see how these bipartisan talks will bring about the end to these problems.
Hakuna.
I don't see.
Hakuna.
I honestly don't see.
We'll be played. So things will happen. People will cut their own deals. They'll move on. We'll be left where we were. And 2027 will come and we'll have the same conversation again. Again. Bwana Muga, there's a story you want to tell us?
Yes. Let me talk about something that is a little more pleasant.
Okay.
Good news as vaccine cuts pneumonia deaths in Kibra. It's one of Kenya's largest public health successes, shows vaccinations help. This is how the story goes. Deaths of children from pneumonia and other respiratory infections in Kibra slum has dropped sharply by 88% since 2011. An analysis by the Kenya Medical Research Institute shows. However, many of the survivors were later felt by diarrhea, TB, HIV, and malaria. KEMRI experts attributed the drop in acute respiratory infections and pneumonia deaths to the introduction of pneumonia vaccines in 2011. See, 2011 is introduced, the results just keep building up. The vaccine prevents pneumonia and other respiratory bacteria that it prevents pneumonia and other respiratory bacteria. This represents one of Kenya's biggest public health successes and shows the importance of vaccinating children. The introduction of the 10-valent pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in Kenya in January 2011 likely contributed to the reduction, particularly for vaccine-specific serotypes, researchers said. You know, sometimes the achievements that we have in the medical sphere through the Kenya Medical Research Institute are not lauded adequately. Because with every medical problem we have, KEMRI is always looking into ways of contributing, even on the global scale, on the global level, to eliminating or understanding what this problem is so that a solution can be found. We saw this when it came to COVID. And we saw, remember when we went to Kilifi and we were being told how they were part and parcel of that big push to understand the wherefore of this particular virus and also coming up with possible ways of mitigating against it. Yes. So sometimes it is good to celebrate our successes.
Very true.
Especially amidst all these terrible things.
Absolutely.
You know, on the second page, on page 2, this was on page 3. Now this is now a horror story. Most Shakahola exhumations are children's bodies.
Kuisha.
So now you look at this thing. Most of the 89 bodies recovered from Shakahola forest in the 4th phase of the exhumation were those of children. The latest post-mortem reports have revealed there appears to have been graves dedicated to children's bodies. Police said 428 bodies have been recovered and the search goes on.
And we are still asking ourselves how it happened.
We're still asking ourselves how it happened. We had the MP for Kilifi North here.
Yeah.
His narration gave an understanding of how it would happen. But it did not explain how it is. The security intelligence forces were blind to all this.
Yeah. There's no way they were blind. No way. You have a story?
Yes.
Tell us.
So nobody's blind to what's happening in the forests. Forestry CS defends the lifting of the logging ban. Surprise, surprise. Environment, Climate Change and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya has defended the lifting of the logging moratorium, saying it would reduce importation of timber to meet the high demand. She added that the government has also embarked on a national tree planting initiative aimed at planting 15 billion trees by 2023. Okay, well, that's nice, but the court has suspended permits for loggers as ministry defends the lifting. So even as she's defending that, the court has said that's nice. But we're not doing that. What they've essentially said is that if you had a permit for logging in the forest for now, of course, there's a petition that's taken this to court. Court said, hold on. let's have a look at this one first before we allow that to happen. So this comes against the lifting of the logging ban. Right? She appeared before the Senate yesterday, and Ms. Tuya told the Senate that the lifting of the logging ban does not apply to gazetted indigenous forests in the country. She explained that it only affects commercial plantations, which form only 5% of Kenya's forest cover, occupying 150,000 hectares. Gazetted forests occupy 2 million hectares, she said. So really, there's no cause